Welcome to WinSouls TV. This is your host. I ain't going nowhere. This is Jeff Thomas, okay? Gosh. Anyway, I just wanted to share a testimony and a good lesson today. So there was a specific time I had just gone through a little bit of deliverance. I went to a Michael Van Vlyman conference. If you haven't gone to one of those, you need to go. And after that, I come back and the Lord is literally just using me to heal everything that comes in my path. But I had to learn a lesson. So I have a mentor. And this particular day, I was just like, man, I just want to lay hands on somebody and just be used to heal them, right? So I go to my Bible study class, and there's this guy that's really sickly there. And he was walking around kind of like with a cane and so I pray over his leg, and literally like right before our eyes, like every time that I was being used to pray, it was being healed. And before I knew it, he wasn't walking around with that cane anymore. And so, but there was a bigger lesson that the Lord wanted to teach me. It's not the fact that, and all of us can be used to heal people. Don't get me wrong. Healing people is great. It gives you a boost because you're just sitting there watching the power of the Lord move. I mean, it's just so exciting to watch him move, and it's so exciting to be a part of that and be used and to take bold steps of faith and just to be radical. And it just makes you feel like, you're back in the times of the Bible, and they're still applicable today, which they are. And it's great to want to be a part of that. The only thing is that one, don't make that the number one factor as to why you have a relationship with God. Just because of the simple fact for what he can do for you. Two, I didn't realize it at the time, but pride was slowly but surely seeping in. Slowly but surely seeping in, and I couldn't even hear it. But my brothers heard it, and they started telling me about myself a little bit, and I was just like, what are you talking about? Because when I came in, there was a specific level of faith, and I wanted to pray over something else after his Achilles tendon was healed. And immediately he backed up and he said, well, you know what? Hey, I don't have any bone in that area. And I said, right then, well, I believe in a God that can do anything. You see what I'm saying? But listen to that subtle comment. I said, I believe in a God. You see, and that was just so small to me that I didn't see it. But here's the thing. Here's the kicker. It wasn't about my faith. It wasn't about my faith. I had to also deal with his unbelief. Right? And so he didn't necessarily believe that he could be healed in that aspect, right? But see, I was just saying, well, I got enough faith for me and the whole room. You see what I'm saying? And that's a very prideful statement. So you have to always be conscious of just the smallest hint of pride, because pride cometh before a fall, and seeing God use you in terms of miracles and healing and deliverance and all of that stuff is really easy for you to start to sway in that direction of pride. So that's another thing. Be aware of being prideful. 3 is the fact that there are specific types of prayer. So in Luke 10, 17 through 20, there is a great example of this. And then I'm going to get into the types of prayer. 17. And the 70 returned. He was talking about disciples. And the 70 returned again with joy, saying, Lord, even the devils are subjected to us through your name. And he said unto them, I beheld unto Satan as lightning fall from heaven. Behold, I give unto you power to tread on serpents and scorpions and over all of the power of the enemy, and that nothing shall by any means hurt you. Notwithstanding, in this rejoice not, that the spirits are subjected unto you, but rather rejoice because your name is written in heaven. Now, what does that mean? It means don't focus necessarily on the gifts or the powers that you have through God. Yes, those are great things, but there is a bigger cause to these powers. All of these specific things aren't to reflect you and your power through God. It is to reflect God. And if it doesn't reflect God, then there's something that's wrong there. Maybe it's your pride. Maybe it's the fact that you want the glory and you just want to be still be used by God, but still in his glory, so that person can move in deeper understanding of who God is. You see? So the types of prayer there are micro prayers, which are just a small, pointed, very direct prayers that only go specifically to the cause of the problem, which is healing, which is deliverance, this, that, and the other. And those things are great. Those are all facets of the Lord. I am not knocking those things. But what I am saying is that those things, without the accompaniment of praying for that person to have a deeper relationship, developing that love for God, which are called macro prayers, which are the whole big picture. The macro prayers, which is what the Lord was talking about here when he was saying, don't rejoice in the power that you have, but rejoice in the fact that your name is written in heaven, the fact that you are saved, the fact that you have a relationship with me, the fact that the powers that I have given you also point to me. Those are the things that you should be rejoicing about, not the fact that you have the power to cast out a demon and they obey you in my name. You see, so the micro prayers are just for the specific cause. The macro prayers can also include micro prayers, but they attack everything as a whole, and they all lead to God, but not just leading to God. They also point the person in the direction of developing their relationship with God so that they can be closer to him. And that is what we are here for. It is all about relationship and closeness to God. And without that, we have nothing. We have nothing. So just to sum everything up in a nutshell, hey, if you're out there healing, if you're out there delivering, if you're out there, moving the way that the Lord would have you move, that is great. But just be mindful of pride. Be mindful of the types of prayers that you are praying. Also include macro prayers so that seeds will be planted, not so that they'll just be coming back to you every time that they need a little healing, every time that they need this or every time that they need that. Their focus doesn't need to be on you. It needs to be on God. And so make sure that when you're out there and you're doing those specific things, that God is the center and not what you're doing for God or the power that is moving through you in seeing the miracles. Don't put on a performance. Be real and allow the Lord to be real through you. Be blessed. Have a good one.